What is going on, everybody? This is Slick from Breaking the Clutch, and today I am here with some exciting news. We have finally got a new banished leader coming to Halo Wars 2, and it is the Colony leader, which is Hunters, man. Hunters is the focus, and I'm really excited about it because they are going to be absolutely ridiculously good in this current meta of the game. I mean, Jackrabbit stomping early game good. So let's jump right into the trailer that they released on Thursday so we can kind of go over everything. I want to talk about all the benefits that these guys will have in combat, in gameplay, and all the leader powers, talk about what that means. So let's start off with the Skitterer. The Skitterer is basically a tiny mini turret with legs. They can walk around like a normal unit. These little things can literally fly up in the air and then hover around units depending on their size. You can get up to 3 Skitterers attached to one single unit at a time, increasing their damage, which is ridiculous. Not sure if you still attach them. I bet you that population still remains the same when they attach, similar to the Sentinel hookups that you could get in Halo Wars 1. Number 2, let's move on to the Goliath, which is the new giant hunter. It looks like a giant gorilla. It's a giant like Golo pair that is essentially fused together into one giant hunter. So that means that this bad boy is going to be just really high in HP, really great against a lot of units. Moving on to number 3, we have the new hero unit, which is the Hunter Captain. It's a giant unit and it has really high HP, very armored, great for, you know, just tanking and sponging damage. And it has a special ability that is Taunt. Now that is going to be very ideal in combat, just because what that means is that instead of having your opponent be able to focus fire units in particular, it will draw all attacking fire to itself, drawing fire off of the other units on the map. Moving on to leader powers, this is probably one of the best parts about the Colony leader. I think these leader powers are going to be some of the banes of the Jackrabbit rush. I'm very excited to see what these can do. Number 1 is Living Barrier. Living Barrier is a layout. You can basically build a wall and choke points across the map. There's got to be a limit to the length of the wall for certain, but one of the best things about that is you can stop Jackrabbits coming into one side of your base. Say if you expo on a certain spot of the map, you need to protect that expansion, I'm sure you can use Living Barrier to really protect that in, especially if you're trying to go into Locust. Second leader power I want to talk about is Vehicle Symbionts. Now what that is you spawn a bunch of like Golo worms, hunter worms on the ground, and they go into the vehicles that you have and then give them higher attack damage and speed. Now that's great. Now, in particular, say, Kinsano has Redline, and that's for vehicles and infantry across the board, or units in general across the board, and then, say, if the Banished also have something that can give them higher attack damage and speed for vehicles, I think that's going to be great for Locust pushing, and also Marauders might actually be a little more viable for the Banished. I think that'd be great to see. Moving on to number 3, there are 2 army drops that I really want to talk about. Number 3, which might be one of the best ones, is Devastating Host. While the UNSC have restoration drones, the Colony leader will be able to use Devastating Host, which drops a massive slew of engineers down upon your army, and all those engineers work together to heal up everything you've got. It's extremely essential in a lot of those really tough and early engagements, so I hope it's one of those first leader powers you can get. Moving on to Colony Drop. Colony Drop is where you drop multiple Hunters and Locusts right into battle. I also hope that this one is within the first or second leader power because, say, Chopper, Ghost, all Scout Rushes, and especially Jackrabbits, can be extremely slowed down with even 2 or 3 anti-infantry units. Banished would be very viable if they could just drop Hunters into the middle of a Jackrabbit combat rush. Moving on to number 4 is another one that's a very aggressive leader ability that I'm sure will get some use, is Hunter's Brand. It's got little warning and a quick cooldown according to the devs, and what that means to me is that you can use it as, you'll basically be able to spam it. There's a chance it could be overpowered, but we'll just have to see. So guys, what do you think about these leader abilities and these new units? I'm very excited. These units look so badass to me. I'm very impressed by what they've been doing with these new. This new leader is great. Kinsano was wonderful. I loved how she has like a fire theme to her, and I love how Colony is all like Golo Hunter base. I think that's one of the coolest things that we could possibly see right now in the game. I think they probably should have dropped the Colony leader first. I'm sure they were just working on improving a few things, but I really think that that this might be one of the most, if not the most viable banished leader as soon as it drops. Just like Kinsano kind of took the reins and Forge had the reins for a while, I believe that the Colony leader will have a very good hold on the meta. I think it's going to be very interesting with Kinsano's flame units and the Hunters. They almost counter each other exactly. Say, those flame Warthogs that are great against, say, just about everything with that Napalm Strike is great against infantry, but in particular, the Hunters are great against vehicles. So it'll be a very interesting battle to see what's going to come out on top. I think the biggest weakness for the Hunters as of right now would have to be air units, but of course there's no way of knowing until it finally releases. So I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. please check out our channel the second this leader drops. You can bet your ass we're going to be uploading all different kinds of strategies, gameplays, and things like that with these new units. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Slick from Breaking the Clutch, and we'll see you guys next time.